All right, let's look at other stories now. We see Standard Chartered Bank in Kenya, unit of the UK banking multinational. Standard Chartered announced a record dividend payout totaling about 10.96 billion shillings, riding on earnings growth in the year ended December. The total payout of 29 shillings per share is 32% higher than the aggressive 8.31 billion shillings paid out in the previous year by the Nairobi Securities Exchange listed firm. Standard Chartered Kenya announced the higher cash distribution after its net earnings in the year to December grew by 15% to 13.8 billion shillings, riding on higher interest and non-funded income. All right, now let's head to other markets now. Take a look at what's happening in the crypto market. From the screen there, we see it's green, mostly green on the screen, and some parts are deep green at this point. Just some few pockets of red right there in the market. Then we see Bitcoin staying at $73,363, up 1.61%. Ethereum holding on to that $4,000 per coin level, but not convincingly so yet. Just about $58 there up. AVAX is also up, but we see Solana and XRP in the green, giving up some gains in Tron. But BNB is looking really, really green. We know Binance has a lot of issues right here in Nigerian and some other markets at this time, but we see that's not impacting the token at this time. Let's look at the sentiment in the market right now. Still a very, very greedy market. Extreme greed at 81 points over 100. Just a few more points before the 100-point mark is blown off, at this time. Let's look at the top cryptocurrencies we track. We see Bitcoin there, 1.6% up. Cardano is also looking good, 76 cents, getting back to that dollar level, 2.41% up. XRP sitting at 69 cents at this time. Well, talking about Binance, we still have that issue right now in Nigeria, and there's still reports that the federal government wants data on crypto traders in Nigeria from the Binance platform. Let's get a sense of what to expect for Nigeria's crypto community. Let's talk to Ray Yusuf now, CEO, No One's, joining me via Zoom. Great to have you on the show, Yusuf.
Hey, how are you guys? Good to be here.
Fantastic. So we see the government here asking for data, from Binance, at this time as customer data at this point. But I guess it shouldn't be hard for a crypto exchange to release customer data to a government.
It's pretty standard practice for crypto exchanges to give governments not just the data they request for with official subpoenas, but in many cases, especially in every single American crypto exchange, a backdoor that gives them access where they don't even need to make the request for data any longer.
So at this point, how can the government actually have access without it being given?
American companies simply give it to the American government. The intelligence agencies will make the request, give us the back door. You give them the back door, you continue to operate. And if you don't, you're faced with extreme pressure and may have to exit the market. That's just how business works in finance, in the West especially. And you're seeing this being exported to the global South, in particular Nigeria. If you look at Binance is under a U.S. Compliance stewardship. They call it a monitor. This is someone that will stay at a company for years. They overrule the CEO. They can do anything they want. They have full access to the company. So in effect, Binance is actually now an American company.
All right. So, at this point, then we should expect that they would release this data.
100%. They already have.
They already have. All right. So, so at this point, let's talk about privacy now for some of these customers. I'm sure they wouldn't want their name out there, and all of their data out there. But how can we protect customer data with these kind of issues?
It's extremely difficult. The only way to really protect your data is to use a completely decentralized platform. This doesn't really exist yet. People can trade peer-to-peer, but Binance and even my platform, No One's, is still currently centralized. I plan on completely decentralizing No One's on a peer-to-peer decentralized open source protocol called CivKit, as in Civilization Toolkit. That's not ready yet, but there's a plan to do that. So what can I say? Never trust an American corporation or any company that has come under the control of the United States, like now Binance. That's the best advice I can give you. But Nigerians have adapted well to the situation. Instead of just, accepting the situation, they're learning all of these other ways to trade peer-to-peer, including just doing it in a completely decentralized manner on Telegram and whatever other solutions they can hack together. So peer-to-peer continues unabated.
Right. And talking about decentralized platforms at this time, we're seeing a heavy crackdown on centralized platforms. Do you think at some point they might actually go for the decentralized platforms? And is it possible to disrupt their business?
Absolutely. Uncle Sam is on the warpath, and the man is cracking down everywhere in the world. Absolutely everywhere, especially in America. The UK has followed, all of Europe has followed, and the global south is going to mimic those moves as well. So they can get any centralized entity, but they have put people who work on decentralized projects like BitTornado, they have put that guy in jail. And they're going to continue to apply pressure across every vector. It's simply not going to stop. And that's why we work on peer-to-peer, really truly decentralized technologies, because it's easy for them to cut the head off any organization, especially if they know who you are, and they do, but they cannot stop an army of mosquitoes. Peer-to-peer diffuses the risk, and that's why you've seen this latest episode in Nigeria. It wasn't just crypto they were focused on. They specifically mentioned peer-to-peer.
Right. So looking at what's going on right now, what are you seeing for, the crypto ecosystem in Nigeria and in Africa, by extension?
Well, I think Nigeria is ground zero for crypto adoption. It leads the entire world, and the Nigerian people are quite special in that you put an obstacle in their way to slow them down, and they just go 10 times faster, and they find 10 times other ways to do something, and they just keep going, and they continue to innovate. This is what Nigerians always do. When the crypto ban came in, our volumes rose. Now with this peer-to-peer ban in, our volumes have risen again, and Nigerians aren't just stopping with us. They're teaching themselves and finding new ways to do this in case we go down or anyone else goes down. That's why I tell the entire world, Nigeria is special. It is ground zero for crypto. It is ground zero for the peer-to-peer revolution, which is a lot bigger than Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. It started with the internet. Then we got these mobile phones, all these disruptive startups. Finally, with peer-to-peer electronic cash, we can fix the money system of these marketplaces. We can actually complete the work and create a world where commerce and money can flow. And that's all the people of Nigeria and Africa want. They just want to be able to trade with themselves and there's neighbors. There's nothing wrong with that, and it shouldn't be illegal.
Right, and definitely we know central bankers are not fond, of peer-to-peer or the decentralized nature, of cryptocurrency. But let's look at Bitcoin, at this time with the spot Bitcoin ETF, and there are indications that Bitcoin will get really scarce. What are you seeing, for the future of Bitcoin at this time, talking about price action?
Bitcoin is going to continue to rise steadily over the next 2 years. It could hit 100K, it could hit 100K or 150K this year. There is a lot of pressure coming from the ETF. It didn't happen as quickly as I thought it would. It's taking a little bit more time. But no matter what happens with the price, I encourage people not to get too excited about that. Paper right. Bitcoin is not what Bitcoin is about. Real Bitcoin is self-custody, Bitcoin, and peer-to-peer. This is the power of Bitcoin. If you just let Bitcoin be about paper ETFs, then it's just another pet rock, a stock that people can hold. And it has essentially removed its teeth. That makes Bitcoin impotent. We don't need another asset class for rich kids in America or Europe to play with. They have enough asset classes to play with. The promise of Bitcoin was as a means of exchange, a means of commerce, global, borderless, unstoppable commerce for the people that need it most. And that means the people of Africa, the global south, Latin America, India, etc., the people that cannot trade because their banking system is broken. Bitcoin is here to help those people. So let's not get too excited about the price, guys. It's all about education, peer-to-peer, and self-custody. We focus on that, and we're going to get the revolution we've been promised, not just another pet stock to play with.
Now, we hear some people say they're in it for the money. Some say they're in it for the tech, at this time. But looking at the way, Bitcoin is set up at this time, is it really ready for day-to-day transactions?
Definitely not. Bitcoin layer 1 is definitely not ready for transactions. About 8 years ago, the community completely rejected that, and they bought all into the store of value narrative, which makes no sense. It's an extreme disappointment to the Bitcoin community, and it came from the Western Bitcoin community. They did not ask the people of the global South to factor in on this decision. Bitcoin was really ideologically kind of neutered back then. And what we're seeing right now is not sufficient for Bitcoin to be a means of exchange. Bitcoin as a means of exchange will exist on L2s, layer 2s, built on top of Bitcoin that enable commerce, like CivKit, Civilization Toolkit, a product that I'm leading. It's sad, too, because when you look at Bitcoin, the very first version of Bitcoin Core that was created by Satoshi Nakamoto himself had marketplace functions in there, 11 opcodes that would just allow Bitcoin to do the same thing that eBay is doing. But Satoshi Nakamoto himself, the guy who created Bitcoin, knew store of value is not enough. The whole point is a means of exchange to enable global commerce. This is why we are here.
All right, and definitely we'll keep tracking the future of Bitcoin at this time. But what are you seeing going forward for the exchange business? That's the cryptocurrency exchange business going forward.
The exchange business is coming under increasing pressure from regulators. They want to completely lock it down in every which way possible. You've already seen it in the West. It's going to start growing in the global South. You look at Nigeria. They banned crypto banks from doing business with cryptocurrency exchanges just up until a month ago. Then they came out with a super expensive license that costs $500,000 or more, because they want to cut the little guys out. It's a game that the little guys are being cut out of. The innovation is being cut out. Regulation is going to continue to increase. And the people that really want to do the things that they want to do with their money are going to turn to other products, more decentralized products. So it's an arms race, basically, with continued pressure and suffocating pressure that basically removes any of the real benefit of crypto. The people will adjust, and they will turn to more and more decentralized projects, peer-to-peer projects like no one's in CivKit, and they'll continue to be able to find ways to do the things that they need to do to enrich their lives and make themselves more prosperous. So the battle continues, guys, and it's a battle of wills, and at the end of the day, it's actually a spiritual battle.
Quite interested. Thank you so much for coming on. Ray Youssef, CEO, No Ones. It was great having your perspective today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I would say I encourage the people not to just blame their governments. It's very easy for us, I'm Egyptian, I was born in Egypt. It's very easy for the Egyptians just to blame their government and call their governments corrupt, and the Nigerians do the same thing, but these situations are very complex. Our governments are under extreme pressure from forces even they can't control. This is coming from people with guns a lot bigger than them that like to apply pressure by hurting them financially and making everyone in the country poorer all at once. So if we just blame our leaders, it's the path to impotence. We have to take the time to educate ourselves and understand where this pressure is coming from and realize colonialism never really left Africa. They just put on a different garb.
Well said. Thank you so much, Youssef. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, now let's get to some of the top gainers this afternoon. We see, one of those meme coins there, topping that count at $2.33, about 21.59%. And TON, that's trading at $4.27, up 18.24%. So we're seeing double-digit gains with most of the top cryptocurrencies at this time. Let's look at the losers counter now. We see CAS, that's topping the counter, 2.33%, that's a single-digit loss right there, 15 cents. IOTA's at 38 cents, 1.78% down. And we have Mina Protocol, $1.54. That's down 1.54%. Quite interesting with the change there. So these are how most of the markets are looking that we track right here. And definitely we're looking out for the close. That's for the local bourse later today. And I'll be giving you a wrap up of what played out in that market. That's at 10 p.m. So thank you so much for watching. That's the show today. You can visit channelcv.com for more updates. I'm Ladi Williams from the team right here at Channels HQ. It's bye for now.